Have you ever observed how some women avoid flirting in a blatant manner? Rather than being obvious, they subtly evaluate your perception, particularly if you are a man over 50. Women often alter their behavior around you because they wish to avoid looking desperate or overly available. Consequently, instead of being straightforward, they inquire about specific topics. This is where most men fail to see the truth. A woman attracted to an older man will almost invariably pose two distinct questions. It is a message hidden in plain sight. Before I reveal them, please do me a quick favor. Hit the like button and share a comment if you have ever overlooked a woman's signals, only to realize it much later. Your participation helps this content reach other men who need this insight. Many men over 50 feel they have become invisible to women, whether to younger ladies or those their own age. But the reality is quite the opposite. Mature men are frequently more appealing than ever once they grasp how the female mind operates. The true hurdle isn't women themselves, it is a lack of understanding. It involves moving through life assuming she was merely being polite when she was actually inviting you in. Women rarely display their interest openly. Instead, they examine your emotional composure, your presence, and your capacity to detect minor details. Feminine psychology functions quietly and indirectly. When a woman starts to view you as someone she can rely on emotionally, physically, and intimately, her vibration shifts. Her dialogue moves from surface-level talk to purposeful curiosity. She begins asking questions intended to uncover three specific traits: your masculine strength, whether you are stable or insecure, your emotional and practical availability, and your awareness, meaning your ability to identify genuine interest when it surfaces. This is precisely when the two primary questions emerge. To comprehend why these inquiries matter so much, you must understand the psychology driving them. Many men over 50 anticipate clear and loud signals because they grew up in an era of more direct communication. However, modern women, even mature ones, signal attraction differently. They won't say, "I am attracted to you. I want to be closer. I am thinking of you romantically." Instead, they explore and feel their way forward. Women often utilize carefully selected questions to determine if you are a man they can approach without the threat of rejection. There is a quiet feminine anxiety, especially regarding older men. If she is too forward, she fears being viewed as needy. Thus, she masks her attraction within curiosity, placing it inside questions that seem trivial to an inattentive man. If you overlook these moments, she typically won't extend the invitation again. Women seldom provide the same emotional window twice. Feminine psychology is multifaceted and nuanced. Women employ questions the same way men employ actions. When a man is drawn to someone, he provides assistance, guidance, protection, or support. When a woman is drawn to someone, she asks a question that gently implies a desire for closeness. There are countless things a woman might ask in passing, but only two surface repeatedly when she is cautiously exploring intimacy with a mature man. I will discuss them shortly, but first, understand a vital point. She isn't asking because she wants to pry into your business. She asks because she wants to experience your emotional warmth. She wants to gauge if you are calm, steady, and receptive to her energy. Does he stand firmly in his masculinity, or does he hide behind mere politeness? These questions aren't about data collection. They are about connection. They generate a slight emotional pull between the two of you. View them as bridges she constructs to see if you will cross them with presence. When you do, a shift occurs within her, both mentally and physically. Most men provide surface-level answers to these questions, but a wiser, more centered man listens to what lies beneath the phrasing. When she asks, she isn't gathering facts. She is checking for alignment and awareness. She is seeing if you are the type of man who notices what is happening under the surface. When a woman feels an attraction to you, she doesn't require a display of wealth, power, or grand stories. She needs to feel that you are present, conscious, and emotionally consistent. These two questions are significant because they aren't random, they are invitations. The first question she asks a man she desires is intended to reveal your availability, not your calendar, but your heart. She wants to feel if your life has the emotional capacity for her. This isn't a logistical question, it's a psychological one. It is her way of asking if you are open or closed, and if she can get closer without being rebuffed. Women dislike wasting emotional energy, so they test for openness before showing deeper interest. This first question is her version of a man leaning in to see if she responds or retreats. Most men miss this because they think it's just small talk. The second question she asks when seeking intimacy concerns your direction, not your career path, but your internal compass. She wants to know if your life possesses purpose, momentum, and masculine stability. Women do not gravitate toward men who drift. They lean toward men who are anchored. This question helps her feel if the man is emotionally vibrant and safe to be around. The second question isn't about the specifics, it's about your core. When she asks it, she is already visualizing what being close to you would be like. A woman may feel physical attraction, but she only steps closer when she craves your presence. This question becomes her gateway into sensing the man you truly are. These inquiries are especially vital for men over 50. By this stage, many women assume you have already finished your emotional development, so they hesitate to enter your world unless they feel they will truly matter. These two questions, soft, simple, and nearly invisible, are her method of checking for space and purpose. You might miss a compliment or ignore body language, but if you miss these questions, you miss the moment she opens the door, and once it shuts, it rarely opens again. When a woman desires intimacy with an older man, she tests the bond with two specific questions that transcend cultures and backgrounds. The first question is, do you spend a lot of time alone? It sounds harmless, but it isn't. It's her way of asking if there is room for her in your world. Is he available or trapped in his habits? She might ask if you go out much, if you prefer solitude, or if you are seeing anyone lately. This isn't about loneliness, it's about access. A woman only asks this after she has imagined herself in your life. If she felt nothing, she wouldn't care how you spent your time. To respond in a way that builds attraction, stay balanced and open. You might say, I value my space, but I'm always open to the right company. This shows openness without desperation. The second question is, what are you looking for these days? This is never casual. It is a woman exploring you as a romantic prospect. She wouldn't risk such a personal question if she weren't interested. She wants to know your inner direction and if your life has the clarity she needs to feel safe. Men who answer literally, saying they are taking it day by day, often ruin the moment by projecting uncertainty. Instead, show masculine clarity by saying you are focused on building a meaningful chapter with the right people. This demonstrates that you are moving forward and have space for her. Women want a man who is emotionally awake and grounded. These two questions measure your openness and your direction. Clarity creates safety, and safety awakens desire. Imagine you are talking with a woman and the conversation is flowing. She asks if you spend much time alone. That is her first step toward you. Later, she asks what you are looking for. That is her second step. If you answer with clarity and presence, she feels the possibility of a future. If you miss these, the moment fades. Never forget that a woman wanting intimacy won't say it directly. She will ask about your energy. When you recognize these signs, you step into the moment with awareness. Before you go, help this channel grow by commenting the phrase, I see the signs below. Women expect more depth and emotional presence from a man over 50. They want to know if stepping closer will feel safe and warm. This connects to how women experience special times like Christmas. It isn't about the cost of a gift. It's about how deeply you see her and how intentionally you make her feel valued. Christmas is about presence and connection. If you want to touch her heart, it comes down to simple things like deep listening, not just hearing the words, but feeling the emotions behind them. The second essential element for connecting during the holidays is emotional protection. For a woman, feeling safe is not just about physical security. It is about knowing that you are her sanctuary when the world feels overwhelming. Christmas can be a season of high stress and social pressure, and she needs to sense that you are the person who understands her silence just as much as her words. When you offer her your presence and show that you are an anchor in the storm, Her attraction to you deepens in a way that words cannot describe. The third pillar is intentionality. This means doing things with purpose. It is not about the grandiosity of the gesture, but the thought that lives inside it. When you remember a small detail she mentioned months ago, or create a moment that is specifically tailored to her heart, you are answering those two hidden questions again. You are showing her that you are available and that you have a clear direction. You are proving that you are a man of awareness. These moments of connection are the true language of intimacy for a mature woman. She is constantly looking for signs that you are the man who can lead emotionally, the man who can see her for who she truly is. When you master the art of recognizing her subtle inquiries and responding to her emotional needs with clarity and strength, the dynamic between you changes forever. You stop being just another person in her life and become the man she feels compelled to move toward. This journey of understanding feminine psychology is about more than just dating. It is about becoming a more conscious, grounded, and present version of yourself. As a man over 50, you have a lifetime of experience to draw from. When you pair that wisdom with the ability to hear what she is not saying, you become truly irresistible. Remember that the door to intimacy is often opened with a simple question, and your ability to recognize that moment is what defines the path ahead. Stay observant, stay intentional, and always lead with your heart and your strength in equal measure. The fourth component involves creating a sense of shared belonging. For a woman, particularly during significant times of the year, the feeling of being part of your inner circle is paramount. She isn't just looking for a partner, she is searching for a place where her presence is celebrated rather than merely tolerated. This is why her questions about your solitude and your future are so heavy with meaning. She is trying to visualize if she fits into the architecture of your life. When you invite her into your world with authentic warmth, you are providing the ultimate answer to her unspoken fears of being an outsider. True intimacy thrives when a man can offer a woman a sense of home within his own masculine strength. This doesn't mean you lose your independence. Rather, it means your independence is so secure that you have the capacity to share it. Furthermore, you must understand the power of consistency. A mature woman has seen enough fleeting excitement to last a lifetime. She is no longer impressed by temporary sparks that fade once the initial novelty wears off. She is looking for the slow burn of a man who remains steady and reliable. Your ability to show up day after day with the same level of awareness and presence is what builds the foundation for something lasting. When she sees that your emotional availability wasn't just a performance for the first few weeks, her trust in you becomes absolute. This trust is the fertile soil where physical and emotional passion can truly grow. It is the reward for the man who pays attention to the small things. Most men stop trying once they feel they have won the woman, but the grounded man knows that the invitation is renewed every single day. By recognizing her subtle questions and responding with a clear sense of purpose, you distinguish yourself from every other man she has ever known. You become the rare individual who understands that the most profound conversations are often the ones where the fewest words are spoken. As you move forward, keep your eyes open for these moments of testing, for they are actually moments of profound opportunity. Every question she asks is a chance for you to reveal the depth of your character. When you lead with clarity and respond with openness, you create a vacuum that naturally pulls her closer to you. This is the essence of true attraction for the mature man. It is a quiet power that doesn't need to shout to be heard. The fifth element centers on the concept of emotional leadership. Many men mistakenly believe that leadership is about making every decision or exerting control. But in the realm of feminine psychology, true leadership is the ability to hold a safe emotional container. It means being the one who remains unshakable when emotions run high and who offers a clear path forward when things feel uncertain. This ties back to her inquiry about your direction. She is looking for a man who can navigate the complexities of life without losing his sense of self. When you demonstrate that you can handle her feelings, her fears, and her joys with a steady hand, she naturally relaxes into her feminine energy. This relaxation is where her deepest desire for you is born. A woman can only truly surrender to a man she trusts to lead with integrity and awareness. Furthermore, you must realize that your vulnerability is not a weakness when it is paired with strength. Sharing your goals, your values, and even your challenges with a sense of resolve shows her that you are a real person, not a mask. It proves that your availability is authentic. By being transparent about who you are, you invite her to be transparent about who she is. This mutual honesty creates a bond that is far more powerful than any superficial attraction. As a man over 50, your greatest asset is the depth of your character and the stillness you have acquired through years of experience. Do not rush the process. Let the connection unfold at its own pace, but stay ever vigilant for those subtle signals and those recurring questions. They are the roadmap to her heart. When you respond to her world with genuine interest and masculine poise, you are not just answering questions, you are building a legacy of connection. The moments where she asks about your time alone or your future aspirations are the moments where your destiny with her is decided. Approach them with the gravity they deserve and the lightness of a man who knows his own worth. By doing so, you ensure that the doors she opens lead to a life of profound partnership and enduring intimacy. The sixth vital aspect is the power of quiet observation. While most men are preoccupied with what they should say next, the man who truly understands women focuses on what he sees. You must learn to read the environment beyond the spoken word. When she asks those pivotal questions, observe her eyes, the tilt of her head, and the way she leans into the space between you. These physical cues are the punctuation marks to her psychological inquiries. They tell you if she is nervous, hopeful, or deeply intrigued. Your ability to acknowledge these nonverbal signals without overanalyzing them creates a profound sense of being understood. A woman feels most attracted to a man who can see her before she even speaks. This level of perception is a hallmark of the mature man. It shows that you are not just focused on your own desires, but are acutely tuned into her frequency. This leads to the final component, which is the gift of space. True masculine confidence knows when to step forward and when to let the silence breathe. After you have answered her questions with clarity and openness, allow her the room to process your strength. Do not feel the need to fill every gap in the conversation with more words or more explanations. Strength is often found in the stillness that follows a powerful truth. By giving her space, you are showing her that you are not chasing her, nor are you desperate for her approval. You are simply present, grounded, and available. This lack of pressure is incredibly magnetic. It allows her to feel the weight of her own attraction and gives her the freedom to move toward you of her own volition. When a woman feels she is choosing to move toward a man who is both open and directed, the connection becomes unbreakable. As you navigate these interactions, remember that your age is your greatest advantage. You are not a boy playing games. You are a man who understands the value of time, the beauty of depth, and the importance of genuine connection. Every interaction is an opportunity to practice this awareness. When you hear those two questions, the one about your solitude and the one about your purpose, see them for what they truly are: a hand reaching out in the dark, looking for a steady place to hold. Be that steady place. Be the man who notices the signal, opens the door, and leads the way into a deeper reality. By mastering these subtle exchanges, you transform your relationships from a series of misunderstandings into a journey of shared discovery and lasting passion. The seventh and final dimension of this dynamic is the cultivation of mutual respect through boundaries. A man who understands feminine psychology knows that being available does not mean being a doormat. In fact, a woman is most drawn to a man who possesses his own world, his own rules, and his own standards. When she asks if you spend a lot of time alone, she is partly checking to see if you have a life that functions without her. She wants to know that you are a complete individual who chooses to let her in, rather than a man who needs her to fill a void. Your independence is what makes your attention valuable. If you are always accessible and always agreeable, your presence loses its weight. By maintaining your own interests and your own schedule, you demonstrate that you are a man of substance. This creates a healthy tension where she must also earn her place in your world. This leads into the concept of masculine mystery. You do not need to reveal every corner of your soul in the first few hours. Let her discover the layers of your experience over time. When she asks what you are looking for, give her enough to see your direction, but leave her wanting to know the stories behind your drive. This gradual unveiling keeps the attraction alive and prevents the connection from becoming stagnant. It keeps her curious and engaged, wondering what other depths you have yet to reveal. As a man over 50, you possess a unique blend of history and potential that is incredibly compelling when handled with poise. Use your wisdom to navigate these waters with patience. Do not be in a hurry to reach a destination. Instead, enjoy the process of building the bridge. When you respond to her inquiries with a mix of honesty, strength, and a touch of playfulness, you create an irresistible pull. You are showing her that life with you will be an adventure of depth and stability. This is the ultimate gift you can offer, the opportunity to be with a man who is fully awake to the beauty of the feminine and fully grounded in his own truth. As you move forward, carry this awareness into every conversation. Look for the hidden invitations, listen for the unspoken needs, and stand tall in the knowledge that your presence is exactly what she has been searching for. By mastering these subtle signals, you reclaim your power and open the door to a level of intimacy that most men never even realize is possible.